If you're visiting Rocky Mountain National Park, you might be wondering what there is to do in Estes Park, which is the gateway town to the national park. In this video, we're going to show you some of our favorite things to do in Estes Park. My name is Matt, my wife Cheryl is behind the camera. Our channel is We're in the Rockies. We try to help you have a great trip to the west.
So let's just dive right in and let's talk a little bit about what's behind me, the visitor center. This is kind of the first stop you're going to want to go to because they've got a lot of people in here ready to answer your questions. They've got maps ready to mark them up and give you some ideas. The other thing that's nice about this visitor center is right behind me is a great big free parking garage. The downtown shopping district of Estes is a little bit of a mess. I don't think I'd want to drive my car down there and park, but the nice thing is that you can park your car right here for free, and then there are several free shuttles that will come right here and pick you up. And this is kind of the hub of the shuttles. Now, a shuttle is not required in Estes. This is just a free service that the town provides to kind of alleviate some congestion with the traffic. And this is another little golden nugget we've learned since we've been here, is that up until July 1st, it's like the soft opening of Rocky Mountain and Estes. Most things are open, but not everything. But starting July 1st, everything is open. So with the shuttles, right now just the main shuttle is going to and from the visitor center and just down the main shopping district. But after July 1st, there's 3 or 4 shuttles that go and they spread out different directions and they cover all the hotels in the area. So if you don't want to deal with driving around town, you can catch the shuttle from your hotel, or if it's the off season or before July 1st, you can catch your shuttle right here at the visitor center.
Next up is the Riverwalk. So the Riverwalk actually connects the visitor center that we were just at to the shopping district, which we're going to talk about in a moment here. But it's kind of nice because it's actually behind the shopping district and kind of a behind the scenes a little bit of Estes Park. The nice thing is, as you walk along the river, they do have a few little kind of attractions for you, small little attractions. They have like some musical instruments that the kids can play. Our kids were having fun with that last night, and I've seen some other kids doing it here today. They have a little kind of a side garden area that just some private person has created, this like little public botanical garden type of a thing with a small little waterfall. Again, not very big, but it, kind of nice. And then they have a memorial to some of the Estes Park women just right along the Riverwalk as well. So all this happens again just behind the shopping district. So you don't have to take the trolley into town if you park there at the visitor center. You can walk. So if you're up for walking, it's only 0.2 miles just to get down to the shopping district here, and you can take the Riverwalk if you want. We're on Elkhorn Avenue right now. This is the main shopping center or district for Estes Park. This is kind of a thing to do. You can see there's a lot of people behind me here walking up and down the street. It's mostly just shops. So there's a lot of t-shirt shops, restaurants, ice cream stores. We'll get to a unique store here in just a moment. The whole avenue is probably only 2 to 3 blocks long, the shopping district. There are a few parks in between and a river that runs through it. And so it's kind of a nice place just to socialize. Now, Cheryl and I really aren't into shopping. It's not really our scene, but as you can see, there's a lot of people up and down here, and it's kind of nice just to come down and mill around with people and see what's going on. Sometimes they'll have concerts in the park or something like that. So it's, something that you might want to do. Now, if you're not buying anything, it probably takes you about 15 or 20 minutes to walk up and down the street. What we did is we took the trolley to the end of the street and then walked back, and then took the Riverwalk back to the visitor center. But if you stop for an ice cream or you stop to eat, there's plenty of restaurants here. Then, plan on a couple of hours on Elkhorn Avenue.
There are lots of things to do in Estes Park, but one thing that we decided was, you have to come here to do it properly, is the original Taffy Shop. This place has been in business for over 80 years, and they still use the original taffy pulling method, which even if you don't get taffy, you should just stop and watch it. It's mesmerizing. But Nat and I went in and we bought a few different kinds of taffy. We've got salted caramel, raspberry lemonade, blueberry, and cotton candy. And I have to say, this is not the yucky taffy they throw at you at a parade. This is the legit yummy stuff. And it's been owned by 2 families over the last 80 years. These cute brothers when they're selling it. Here's the other little secret thing to know, is that this is the only original one that actually makes taffy like this here. The others are just knockoffs. So go to the original one. I would highly recommend checking out the Taffy Shop.
One of the cool things about Estes Park is that there are elk that just roam through the town all over the place. You actually have to really look out as you're driving around because they might be just right off to the side of the road. right now. Here's a golf course, and they are all in this pond right here, just hanging out. And so that's pretty cool. They're just all around town. Estes Park is on the east side of Rocky Mountain National Park, and there are a ton of elk both in Rocky Mountain National Park and in and around Estes Park as well. In September and October is the elk rut. So if you come here in that time, you really need to look out, because the males are really asserting their dominance and they might attack you. Even if you're in your car, they might come after you. So you have to kind of keep an eye out there. But one of the really cool things about Estes Park, they're just all over. They might be right behind your hotel.
Ready for a little tingle up your spine? You can go visit the actual Stanley Hotel. This is where Stephen King came up with the idea for The Shining. And even though I'm not a horror movie fan, and I really don't believe in the paranormal, this hotel is spooky. Now, for about 10 bucks, you could just park here and walk around the lobby a little bit. But we paid for a tour, and they actually offer a few different types of tours. We just went on the day tour because we didn't want to get too scared. But they have a Shining tour, they have a night tour. They even have like a seance reader guy. So if you really want to get spooked out, you can come check out the Stanley Hotel. It was a good time, and we really don't know much about The Shining, but now I'm interested in it. This was cool.
Did we see ghosts on the tour?
We saw pictures of ghosts, and she told us to be looking in mirrors because they like to show up in the mirrors.
Where did Stephen King stay?
Oh yes, okay. So Stephen King stayed in room 217, and that's right there. You can go get your picture taken right outside of his room, and actually people can stay in room 217, and she told us some interesting stories about room 217 on the tour.
Even though we talked about parking at the visitor center for free, I just want to be clear, there is plenty of parking down by Elkhorn Avenue, and some of it is free as well. Some of it's paid, some of it's free. So there's plenty of parking all over town. You can't go wrong. Okay, next up in Estes Park is, of course, you're going to need to eat. There are a ton of restaurants here, and we looked up the Google reviews. They were highly rated. Like, there must be some pretty good food in Estes Park. And so far, we've had 2 restaurants where we've had some pretty good food. The first one is right here, Penelope's world famous burgers. They're bragging that they've been voted best burgers in Estes Park for a few years. And it was crazy, actually. They had some really amazing burgers in there. The Big Daddy I got was just a huge stack with burger, pulled pork, and onion rings. This YouTube channel has really done damage on my diet. So let's see if we can eat this thing. Oh man. They also have elk burgers and bison burgers, so pretty good little menu in there and kind of an old-timey little feel. We also tried Antonio's Pizza yesterday, and the pizza that we ordered, we got a big pizza for our family of 6, and the thing was huge. I mean, it just was massive, and they only cut it in like 8 slices, so the slices were just massive. Our kids really got a kick out of that. So did we. That was pretty fun. We were amazed that we ate like that whole pizza, didn't we, Cheryl? So that was crazy. But I think Estes has some pretty good food here, and from our experience so far, it's been good.
One of the challenging things about visiting Rocky Mountain National Park is that it's a hiker's park, and even though we love to hike, it's kind of hard to hike the entire day. So we like to hike in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we like to chill out in Estes Park and do some fun things. And this is something our kids have been begging us to do the whole time. So we finally took them to Fun City. Fun City has a lot of little attractions. They've got go-karts, bumper boats, this giant slide behind me, an arcade. They've got a few things going on, but our kids love the go-karts. Oh, they've got a bungee trampoline too. And we tried the giant slide, and that was awesome also. The giant slide's only $2 a run, so that's pretty good for just trying it out one time. And then most of the other activities are about $10 or $11 each. So a good way to kind of chill in the afternoon and break up the hiking. Next up is to visit Lake Estes Marina. There are so many great rentals here and at very affordable prices. I was super impressed when I was looking these up. They've got paddle boards, kayaks, stand-up paddle boards. They have bikes. They even have motorboats like pontoons or fishing boats. And one thing that really surprised me was how cheap a pontoon was. You could get a pontoon for between $70 and $100 per hour, which I think about the grand scheme of owning a boat is so cheap. And it would only need probably an hour to just drive around this little lake. But a great idea to kill an afternoon if you've done your hiking for the day and want to cool off in the afternoon.
The last thing to do in Estes Park is to visit Rocky Mountain National Park. If you're visiting Rocky Mountain National Park, make sure to check out our playlist for many videos to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, go west, young traveler.